Discovery. The survey ship Phoenix drifted silently through the dust-laden atmosphere of Proxima Centauri, its sensors probing the barren landscape below. Captain Ilara Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen as the ship's scanners mapped the planet's surface. They had been exploring the outer reaches of human space for months, searching for resources, habitable worlds, or anything that might give humanity an edge in their expansion among the stars. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," Lieutenant Ravi Sharma called from the sensor station. His fingers danced across the holographic interface, adjusting parameters. "There's a massive metallic structure buried under the surface of that mountain range. Composition: unknown." Chen raised an eyebrow. "Unknown? Are you sure the sensors aren't malfunctioning?" "Positive, Captain. Whatever it is, it's made of alloys our database can't identify." Dr. Marcus Way, the expedition's chief xenorchaeologist, looked up from his workstation, excitement evident in his eyes. "Captain, we need to investigate this. The readings suggest it's artificial and ancient." Chen nodded, making her decision. "Prepare a landing party. Let's see what we found." Hours later, Chen led a team through the narrow entrance they'd discovered at the base of the mountain. The passage was clearly artificial, its walls smooth and decorated with intricate geometric patterns that seemed to shimmer under their flashlights. "These markings aren't random," Wei said, running his hand along one of the patterns. "They look like circuitry of some kind, but far more advanced than anything we've developed." The passage opened into a vast chamber that took their breath away. In the center, partially buried under centuries of dust and debris, lay what could only be described as a ship. But unlike any spacecraft humanity had ever constructed, it was massive, sleek, and predatory, its hull a deep obsidian that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "My God," whispered engineer Kazuki Tanaka. "It must be at least 2 kilometers long." Chen approached the vessel cautiously. "Any idea who built it?" Wei shook his head. "No known species in our database has technology like this. Whoever they were, they're either gone or haven't made contact with humanity." Over the next week, the Phoenix's crew established a base camp inside the chamber and began the painstaking process of studying the alien vessel. They discovered an entrance, or what appeared to be one, along the ship's ventral hull. "The architecture is incredible," Tanaka said as they made their way through the ship's darkened corridors. "The hull material repairs itself at the molecular level. Some systems still have power, even after what must be thousands of years." They eventually found what seemed to be a command center, a massive circular room dominated by what looked like control interfaces and a central dais. "This must be their bridge," Chen said, looking around in wonder. Wei approached one of the interfaces cautiously. Strange symbols glowed faintly beneath the dust, pulsing like a heartbeat. "These controls are still active. Barely, but there's power flowing through them." "Don't touch anything," Chen warned. "We don't know what might." But it was too late. As Wei brushed dust from one of the panels, his fingers accidentally pressed against a sequence of symbols. Immediately, the room hummed to life. Lights flickered on throughout the bridge, and the symbols began to glow more brightly. "What did you do?" Chen demanded, but Wei could only stare in shock as the ship around them began to awaken. A holographic display materialized above the central dais, showing what appeared to be a star chart. Strange, alien characters scrolled across it, too fast to follow. "It's booting up," Tanaka said in awe. "The ship's AI is reactivating after who knows how long." The humming grew louder, and they felt vibrations beneath their feet as dormant systems throughout the massive vessel began to power up. Chen was about to order everyone back to the Phoenix when a voice spoke, not through speakers, but directly into their minds. "Identification protocol initiated. Unknown biological entities detected on command deck. State your species designation and purpose." The voice was neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It simply was, a presence that filled not just the room but their consciousness. Chen stepped forward, heart racing. "I am Captain Ilara Chen of the Earth Survey Vessel Phoenix. We are humans, explorers from Earth. We mean no harm." There was a pause, and they felt the ship's consciousness evaluating them. Species: human. Unknown classification. No record in Axiom database. Analyzing genetic structure and neural patterns. Determining compatibility. Compatibility assessed. Moderate to high potential. Initiating secondary protocols. Axiom. Wei whispered. "Is that what they call themselves? The builders of this ship?" Affirmative. "This vessel is designated Nemesis, warship of the Axiom fleet. Last active service, 47,328 cycles ago. Current status, standby mode. All primary systems functional. Weapons systems, dormant. Defensive systems, minimal capacity. Drive systems, repairable." "It's a warship," Chen breathed, a chill running down her spine. "We found an alien warship." Query. Status of the Axiom Conclave. Status of the war with the Vraxian Dominion. Chen looked at Wei, who shrugged helplessly. "We don't know of any Axiom Conclave or Vraxian Dominion. As far as we know, humanity has never encountered either species." Another pause, longer this time. They could almost feel the AI processing this information. "Data suggests significant temporal displacement since last activation. Hypothesis: the Axiom Conclave no longer exists. Alternative hypothesis: this vessel has traveled beyond known space." "How long has this ship been here?" Chen asked. "This vessel entered emergency stasis protocol following critical damage during the Battle of Seventh Spiral. Last conscious command from Fleet Admiral Nexus: preserve ship capability until recovery possible. Time in stasis: approximately 150,000 of your Earth years." The team exchanged shocked glances. This vessel had been waiting, dormant but alive in some sense, for longer than human civilization had existed. "What happened to the Axiom?" Wei asked. "Insufficient data. Last transmitted fleet reports indicated overwhelming Vraxian offensive. Casualty rates exceeded sustainable levels. Probability of Axiom survival: unknown. And the Vraxians? Unknown. If victorious against the Axiom, the Vraxian Dominion would have expanded throughout this galactic sector. Your species' existence suggests either Vraxian extinction or territorial limitation." Over the following days, the Phoenix's crew worked with the Nemesis Eye to learn more about the vessel and its capabilities. They discovered that the ship had been one of the Axiom's most advanced weapons platforms, capable of devastating entire fleets and, if necessary, planets. "The technology is incredible," Tanaka reported during a briefing. "The ship uses a form of quantum manipulation we've only theorized about. Its hull can reconfigure at the molecular level. The weapons systems, they're beyond anything we've ever conceived." "Can we control it?" Chen asked. We nodded hesitantly. "The AA seems willing to work with us. It says humans share certain neural patterns with the Axiom, making us compatible pilots." "Pilots, not just crew." "The Axiom didn't just command their ships. They bonded with them, formed a symbiotic relationship. The ship's AI can link with a compatible consciousness, allowing for instantaneous command and control." Chen frowned. "That sounds invasive." "The AI assures me it's consensual and potentially necessary if we want to utilize the ship's full capabilities." The captain was about to respond when Lieutenant Sharma's voice came urgently over the comm. "Captain, we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command. They've been monitoring our reports about the discovery." Chen stepped away to take the transmission. When she returned, her expression was grim. "Earth Command wants us to secure the vessel and prepare it for transport back to Earth space. They're sending a tug fleet to assist." We looked troubled. "Captain, this ship has been waiting for over 100,000 years. Rushing this process could be dangerous." "Those are our orders, Doctor. Earth needs this technology. especially with the recent border skirmishes in the Ta-CD system. This ship could change everything. As the Phoenix's crew worked to prepare the Nemesis for its journey, none of them noticed the faint signal that pulsed from the awakened warship, traveling across the void of space, a signal that would soon draw unwanted attention to their remarkable discovery. In the darkness between stars, something ancient and malevolent stirred. The signal had been recognized, and the hunters were coming. Awakening. 3 weeks after the discovery of the Nemesis, the ship hummed with activity. Dr. Wei and engineer Tanaka had established a temporary laboratory in what appeared to be the alien vessel's engineering section, working day and night to decipher its systems. "It's like nothing we've ever seen," Tanaka said, holographic schematics floating around him. "The propulsion system doesn't use conventional drives. It somehow folds space around the vessel, allowing it to traverse vast distances almost instantaneously." We nodded, his eyes fixed on a complex display of alien mathematics. "And the AI? It's not just a computer system. It's something more, almost as if the ship itself is alive." The Nemesis AI had been gradually awakening more of its systems, performing self-diagnostics and repairs where possible. It communicated primarily with Wei and Captain Chen, seeming to prefer their company over the other crew members. "Your species is fascinating," the AI communicated directly to Wei's mind. "You have achieved spaceflight with remarkably primitive technology. The axiom required 3 times your developmental cycle to reach similar capabilities. We're resourceful," Wei replied with a small smile. "Necessity and curiosity drive us. Those were axiom traits as well. Perhaps that explains our compatibility." On the bridge, Captain Chen reviewed the latest communication from Earth Command. The message was clear: get the alien warship operational enough for transport and bring it back to Earth-controlled space immediately. A flotilla of military vessels was already en route to provide escort. Chen sighed, running a hand through her short black hair. The pressure from command was intense, but she shared Wei's concerns about rushing the process. There was still so much they didn't understand about the Nemesis and its capabilities. "Captain," Sharma called from his station, "I'm detecting an anomaly at the edge of the system. Multiple objects dropping out of FTL." Chen straightened. "Earth's flotilla?" "No, ma'am. The signatures don't match any human vessels." Sharma's voice tightened. "They're not in our database at all." Chen felt a cold knot form in her stomach. "How many?" 7. "No, 12 vessels. Large. Their configuration suggests warships." The captain activated the ship-wide comm. "Dr. Wei, get to the bridge immediately. We have company." Within minutes, Wei arrived, breathless from his run through the vast corridors. "What's happening?" "Unknown vessels just entered the system," Chen explained, pointing to the tactical display. "They're on an intercept course." Wei's face paled. "Have you asked the Nemesis AI about them?" Before Chen could respond, the AI's voice filled their minds. "Vessels identified. Vraxian Battle Squadron. Configuration: 1 command cruiser, 8 destroyers, 3 carrier vessels. Assessment: Hunter-Killer formation. Conclusion: they have detected this vessel's reactivation signal and have come to investigate." "The Vraxians," Wei whispered. "The same ones who fought the Axiom over 100,000 years ago." "Affirmative. Vraxian civilization structures suggest extremely long-term stability. Their technological advancement appears significant since last encounter, but core signatures remain consistent with historical records." Chen's mind raced. "Are they hostile?" "The Vraxian Dominion fought a war of extinction against the Axiom. Historical data suggests they will view any reactivation of Axiom technology as a significant threat to be eliminated immediately." "We need to power down," Chen decided. "Maybe they'll pass us by if they don't detect active systems." "Negative. Reactivation signal already transmitted. Vraxian sensors will have pinpointed this location. Recommended course of action: prepare for defensive operations." "Defensive operations." Chen looked around the ancient bridge. We barely understand how to operate this ship, let alone fight with it. Alternative. This vessel can initiate bond link with compatible consciousness to facilitate intuitive control. Captain Ilara Chen registers highest compatibility among current human crew. We looked at Chen with concern. The neural bond the AI mentioned before. It would link your mind directly with the ship's systems. Chen hesitated. What exactly would this bond entail? Temporary neural integration. Your consciousness would guide the vessel's actions. The ship would respond to your intentions rather than explicit commands. Process is reversible, but may be disorienting initially. We don't have much choice, Sharma interrupted. The alien fleet will be within weapons range in 20 minutes. Chen made her decision. Do it. The AI guided Chen to the central dais on the bridge. As she stepped onto it, the floor beneath her feet illuminated with spiraling patterns of light. Remain still. Neural synchronization commencing. Chen gasped as she felt something brush against her mind, like cool water flowing through her consciousness. There was no pain, only a strange sensation of expansion, as if her awareness was stretching beyond the confines of her body. Suddenly, she could feel the nemesis, every corridor, every system, every molecule of its structure. The massive vessel became an extension of herself, responding to her thoughts as naturally as her own limbs. Neural synchronization at 70%, sufficient for basic operations. Weapons and defensive systems now accessible. Through the ship's sensors, Chen could perceive the approaching Vraxian vessels with perfect clarity. They were sleek, predatory ships with hull configurations that suggested an insectoid influence. All angles and segmented sections, like massive metal wasps. They're hailing us, Sharma reported. Put them through, Chen ordered, her voice sounding strange to her own ears, as if it carried additional harmonics. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that sent involuntary shudders through the human crew. The Vraxian commander had a chitinous exoskeleton, multiple compound eyes, and mandibles that clicked rhythmically as it spoke. Its voice was translated by the Nemesis Eye. Attention, unknown vessel. You have activated forbidden Axiom technology. Surrender immediately and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in your destruction. Chen felt the Nemesis feeding her information about the Vraxians, their tactics, their weaknesses, their history of relentless expansion and genocide against any species they deemed inferior or threatening. This is Captain Ilara Chen of Earth. We are a peaceful expedition. We mean no harm. The Vraxians' mandibles clicked furiously. Earth. Unknown designation. Irrelevant. You possess Axiom Warship technology. This cannot be permitted. Final warning. Power down all systems and prepare for boarding. Through her bond with the Nemesis, Chen could feel the Vraxian vessels powering up their weapons. They had no intention of allowing the humans to surrender peacefully. They're going to fire regardless of what we say, she told her crew. Prepare for evasive action. With a thought, Chen activated the Nemesis's defensive systems. Energy shields shimmered into existence around the massive warship, just as the lead Vraxian vessel fired its main batteries. The impact was tremendous, but the ancient shields held. Chen felt the attack as if it had struck her own body, not painful, but intense and immediate. Remarkable. Y breathed, watching the tactical displays. Their weapons are advanced, but the Nemesis' defensive technology is still superior. Chen knew they couldn't stay and fight, not with her limited understanding of the ship's capabilities, and the Phoenix still docked within the Nemesis' massive hangar bay. We need to retreat, she announced. Get everyone aboard and secure for emergency departure. Through her link with the ship, Chen accessed the drive systems. The Nemesis responded instantly, its ancient engines powering up with a deep thrumming that resonated throughout the vessel. On the tactical display, she could see the Vraxian ships moving to surround them, cutting off escape routes. Full drive ready for activation. Warning: optimal navigational coordinates required for safe transit. Can we reach Earth? Chen asked. Negative. Current power levels insufficient for transition beyond 20 light-years. Nearest suitable system, HD 40,000, 307, 16.5 light-years distant. That'll have to do. As the Vraxian vessels closed in, Chen gave the mental command to activate the fold drive. The space around the Nemesis seemed to ripple and distort. The humans felt a momentary sensation of being stretched in impossible directions. And then, the barren world of Proxima Centauri vanished, replaced by the void between stars. The Nemesis had escaped, leaving the Vraxian fleet behind. But Chen knew, through her bond with the ancient warship, that this was only the beginning. The Vraxians would pursue them relentlessly. And worse, they now knew of humanity's existence. The war that had ended 150,000 years ago was about to begin anew, with humanity caught in the middle. Ascension. The Nemesis emerged from fold space in the HD 40,000, 307 system, its massive form casting a shadow across the stars. Inside, Captain Chen stumbled as her neural link with the ship temporarily overloaded from the strain of the emergency jump. "Captain." Wei rushed to her side, supporting her as she regained her balance. "I'm all right," she assured him, though her voice was shaky. "The ship, it's incredible. I could feel everything, every system, every calculation, even the void between stars as we traveled through it." Tanaka checked the ship's status from a console they'd managed to interface with human technology. "The fold drive is depleted. It'll need time to recharge before we can jump again." "How much time?" "The AI estimates 12 hours at minimum." Chen nodded, her mind still partially connected to the Nemesis. Through their bond, she could sense the ship's self-repair systems already working to restore power to critical systems. "The Vraxians," she said. "They recognized this ship immediately. They've been hunting for Axiom technology for thousands of years." We looked troubled. Why? What could they possibly fear from a civilization that's been extinct for over 100 millennia? "The Vraxian Dominion fears what they cannot control," the Nemesis Eye explained, its voice resonating through their minds. "The Axiom possessed technologies that the Vraxians could not replicate, particularly consciousness-integrated systems like this vessel. Such technology represented an existential threat to their dominance. So they exterminated the Axiom," Chen concluded grimly. "Correct. The Vraxian strategy has remained consistent throughout their known history. Eliminate any potential rival before they can develop into a threat. Your species has now been identified as possessing Axiom technology. Logical conclusion. They will extend their extinction protocols to humanity." The gravity of the situation settled heavily on the bridge crew. What had begun as an archaeological expedition had now placed the entire human species in the crosshairs of an ancient, powerful empire. "We need to warn Earth," Chen decided. "Sharma, can we send a message through subspace?" "Not from here, Captain. We're too far out. But if we could reach the colony on Ta City, they have a relay powerful enough to transmit to Earth." "Ta City is 4 light-years from here," we noted. "Once the fold drive recharges, we could reach it in a single jump." Chen nodded. "That's our plan then. And in the meantime, we need to learn as much as we can about this ship's capabilities. If the Vraxians are coming for humanity, we need every advantage we can get." Over the next several hours, Chen deepened her neural connection with the Nemesis, exploring its systems with the guidance of the AI. The ship had been designed as the pinnacle of Axiom military technology, a vessel capable of engaging entire fleets single-handedly. "The weapon systems are beyond anything we've ever conceived," she told her senior officers during a briefing. "Gravitational manipulation, directed energy that can disrupt matter at the quantum level, defensive shields that adapt to specific attacks." "Can we actually use any of this?" asked Lieutenant Commander Hayes, the Phoenix's military liaison. "Increasingly, yes," Chen replied. "The neural bond allows me to access the ship's systems intuitively, and the AI has been remarkably helpful in translating Axiom concepts into terms we can understand." Wei had been studying the ship's historical archives, learning what he could about the long-extinct Axiom and their war with the Vraxians. The Axiom weren't warriors by nature, he explained. They were explorers, scientists, artists. But the Vraxians saw their potential as a threat and launched a preemptive war of extermination. The Axiom fought back with increasingly advanced technology, but they were always outnumbered. So what was different about this ship? Tanaka asked. Why was it so special that the Vraxians are still hunting for it after all this time? Wei's expression grew somber. According to the archives, the Nemesis was the last hope of the Axiom. A ship designed not just to fight but to evolve. It can adapt its systems based on the intentions and creativity of its pilot, developing new capabilities in response to challenges. That's why the neural bond is so important, Chen realized. It's not just a control system. It's how the ship learns and evolves. Affirmative, the AI confirmed. This vessel was designed to harness the intuitive problem-solving abilities of sentient consciousness. The Axiom believed this approach would eventually overcome the Vraxian numerical advantage. Unfortunately, the project was completed too late to save their civilization. 12 hours later, with the full drive recharge, the Nemesis jumped to the Tau CD system. What they found there filled them with horror. A Vraxian battle fleet had already arrived, larger than the one they'd encountered at Proxima Centauri. The human colony on Tau City was under bombardment, its orbital defenses already reduced to debris. They found Earth colonies, Chen whispered. How? Probability analysis suggests coordinated Vraxian response. Their domain likely encompasses more of this galactic sector than previously estimated. All human settlements within their territory would be targeted simultaneously once your species was designated as a threat. Chen made an immediate decision. We have to intervene. We can't let them destroy the colony. Through her neural bond, she brought the Nemesis's weapons systems online. The ancient warship responded to her intentions, accelerating toward the Vraxian fleet with gathering power. The Vraxians detected the approaching vessel and immediately broke off their bombardment, redirecting their forces to intercept. Their response confirmed Wei's theory. They feared the Nemesis more than they desired the destruction of the human colony. They're coming at us with everything they have, Sharma reported. 27 ships, including what appears to be a dreadnought-class command vessel. Chen felt no fear, only a strange calm as she guided the Nemesis into battle. Through her neural link, she could perceive weaknesses in the Vraxian formation, opportunities that would never be visible through conventional sensors. The battle that followed was unlike anything in human military history. The Nemesis moved with impossible grace for a vessel of its size, its defensive systems adapting in real time to Vraxian weapons. Its counterattacks were precise and devastating. Quantum disruptors tearing through enemy hulls, gravitational weapons crushing Vraxian fighters into compacted metal. As the battle progressed, Chen felt the ship responding not just to her commands, but to her strategic imagination. When she envisioned new attack patterns, the Nemesis would extrapolate and execute them with increasing sophistication. When she considered defensive formations, the ship would enhance them beyond her original conception. The ship is evolving, Wei said in awe, watching the tactical displays. It's taking your ideas and improving upon them. The Vraxians, despite their numerical advantage, found themselves outmatched. One by one, their vessels fell to the Nemesis's attacks. The survivors began to retreat, abandoning their assault on the human colony. But the Vraxian command dreadnought remained, its massive form bristling with weapons as it moved to engage the Nemesis directly. Warning: Vraxian flagship energy signature indicates Omega-class destabilizer. This weapon can potentially breach our primary shields. Chen focused her thoughts, exploring the Nemesis's systems for a solution. As she did, she felt something new, a resonance between her consciousness and the ship's eye, deeper than before. Ideas flowed between them, human creativity merging with Axiom logic to produce something greater than either alone. I need more power to the forward shields, she said aloud, though her thoughts were already conveying the command. "Captain," Wei said urgently, "your neural activity is off the charts. The bond is intensifying." Chen barely heard him. She was seeing possibilities unfold in her mind, ways to reconfigure the Nemesis's systems that hadn't existed before. The ship was literally evolving around her, its ancient technology responding to human innovation. As the Vraxian dreadnought fired its main weapon, a beam of coruscating energy that distorted space itself, the Nemesis didn't just defend. It adapted. The shields morphed into a new configuration, creating a quantum reflection matrix that caught the enemy weapon's energy and redirected it back upon itself. The dreadnought, struck by its own attack amplified by Axiom technology, shuddered as catastrophic failures cascaded through its systems. "They're retreating," Sharma announced as the damaged dreadnought and its remaining escorts limped away from Ta City, jumping to FTL as soon as they cleared the system's gravity well. The bridge crew erupted in cheers, but Chen remained silent, her mind still linked deeply with the Nemesis. Through the ship's advanced sensors, she could detect subspace communications between Vraxian vessels across multiple systems. A coordinated assault being organized against Earth itself. "It's not over," she said, her voice carrying strange harmonics from the neural bond. This was just the first wave. They're gathering a larger fleet, aimed at Earth. Wei looked at her with concern. "How long do we have?" 3 days, perhaps 4. They're bringing ships from across their territory. "We need to warn Earth, prepare defenses," Hayes insisted. "We will," Chen agreed. "But Earth's defenses alone won't be enough against what's coming." Through her deepened bond with the Nemesis, Chen had glimpsed the full extent of the Vraxian dominion, an empire spanning hundreds of star systems, built over thousands of years of conquest and extermination of rival species. Their technological advancement might not match the peak of Axiom achievement, but their numbers were overwhelming. "What can we do against an entire empire?" Tanaka asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Chen smiled, a plan already forming in her mind, or perhaps in the shared consciousness she now formed with the Nemesis. "We have something they feared for 150,000 years, she said. "A ship that can evolve, that can turn their own strengths against them. And now we have something the Axiom didn't, the human capacity for adaptation and innovation." Over the next 3 days, as the Nemesis made its way to Earth, Chen and her crew worked tirelessly. The neural bond between captain and ship deepened further, allowing for unprecedented modifications to the ancient vessel. Human ingenuity merged with Axiom technology, creating systems and capabilities that neither civilization could have developed alone. When they arrived at Earth, the United Earth Defense Fleet was already mobilizing, having received the warning transmitted from Ta City. But even the combined might of humanity's military vessels seemed insignificant compared to the Vraxian armada that arrived just hours later. Over 200 warships, led by 3 massive dreadnoughts. "They've committed a significant portion of their fleet to this attack," Chen observed from the Nemesis's bridge. "They really do fear what this ship represents." Earth's defenses engaged the Vraxian vanguard, buying time as the Nemesis moved into position. Through her neural link, Chen could feel the ship's systems at full readiness, enhanced by the modifications they'd implemented during the journey home. "All Earth vessels, this is Captain Chen," she broadcast. "Fall back to defensive positions around the orbital platforms. Let the Nemesis draw their main force." As the human ships retreated to safer positions, the Vraxian fleet concentrated their fire on the ancient warship. Energy weapons, missiles, and exotic particle beams converged on the Nemesis from dozens of directions simultaneously. But the ship's defenses held, not just held, but adapted with each attack, becoming stronger. And when the Nemesis counterattacked, it did so with weapons that hadn't existed days before. Hybrid systems, born from the merger of human scientific understanding and Axiom technological principles. Quantum disruptors enhanced with applications of Earth's particle physics tore through Vraxian hulls. Gravitational lenses focused energy with precision that astonished even the Nemesis eye. Defensive shields reconfigured in patterns that reflected human mathematical theories never before applied to space warfare. The battle raged for hours, but the outcome was increasingly clear. The Vraxian fleet, despite its numerical advantage, could not overcome the evolving capabilities of the Nemesis. One by one, then in groups, the alien vessels were disabled or destroyed. When the final Vraxian dreadnought attempted to flee, its engines powering up for an FTL jump, the Nemesis executed a maneuver that even the AI had considered theoretically impossible, creating a localized gravitational distortion that prevented the enemy vessel from escaping. This capability was not in my original design parameters. The AI communicated to Chen. It represents a genuine evolutionary advancement of this vessel's systems. With their flagship captured and their fleet in ruins, the remaining Vraxian commanders sued for ceasefire. For the first time in their history, the Dominion had suffered a decisive defeat. In the aftermath, as Earth celebrated its unexpected victory, Chen stood on the Nemesis's observation deck, gazing at her home planet through the transparent hull section. "What happens now?" Wei asked, joining her. "The Vraxians have retreated, but their empire is still vast. They'll eventually return." Chen nodded. "Yes, they will. But by then, we'll be ready. The Nemesis is just the beginning. What we've learned, the merger of human innovation with Axiom technology, it changes everything." "You sound different," Wei observed. "The neural bond has changed me," Chen acknowledged. "I see things differently now. Possibilities I couldn't have imagined before. The Axiom believed that consciousness and technology could evolve together, creating something greater than either alone. They were right. And the Vraxians feared that, with good reason." Chen turned to face her friend, her eyes reflecting stars that seemed somehow closer than before. The Axiom didn't have time to realize the full potential of what they'd created. We do. In the days that followed, Earth scientists began studying the Nemesis, learning what they could from its systems. But the heart of the ship, its evolving AI and its ability to bond with human consciousness, remained something of a mystery, a technology that seemed to grow and change even as they studied it. What was clear was that humanity was no longer alone in the galaxy, no longer defenseless against older, more advanced civilizations. With the Nemesis as both protector and teacher, Earth began to prepare for its new role in the cosmic order. And somewhere in the depths of space, in the heart of the Vraxian Dominion, ancient fears once thought resolved centuries ago returned with renewed urgency. The impossible had happened. The legacy of the Axiom had found new life in human hands. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted irrevocably, and a new age of exploration, innovation, and yes, conflict had begun. Captain Ilara Chen, standing on the bridge of the ancient warship that had become an extension of herself, smiled as she contemplated the stars. "Where shall we go next?" she whispered, both to the ship and to the future that stretched before them, limitless and bright with possibility.